Well, it hasn't been a good week for our boy Caleb Williams. Um, he had probably the worst game of his career this past Saturday in a marquee matchup, primetime game, Southern Cal Notre Dame, and he went out and just he crapped the bed. I mean, he played terrible. 3 interceptions in the first half. All three led to Notre Dame touchdowns, and the game was basically over at that point. But look, he's an elite level quarterback. He had a bad game. That's all. I've seen enough of Caleb Williams to know he's an unbelievable talent. He's just an amazing talent. But this report that's coming out that him and his agent are demanding partial ownership of whatever NFL team drafts him, sir. What? Who do you think you are? I'm being serious. Who do you think you are? This is unbelievable to me. Um, there was already that report that surfaced over the summer that said, depending on which team might draft him next year, he might decide to just come back to college for another year rather than play for. I guess he's got a list of however many teams that he doesn't want to play for. And if those teams get high draft picks this year, and it looks like he may go to one of those teams, he might just say screw it and come back to college for an additional year. That's his right to do that. No one has to go pro at any particular time. Now, I think it's a terrible decision. I think it's a ridiculous risk to take and a lot of money to leave on the table. And you got people, well, they make a lot of, look how much money he can make in NIL. Whatever he makes in NIL, if he comes back to Southern Cal next year, would pale in comparison to the contract he would sign as a number one overall draft pick in the NFL draft, which is what he will be. Just the signing bonus alone last year for the number one pick was $26 million. How much money do you think Caleb Williams is going to make in a year at Southern Cal off of an NIL deal? Let's say some absurd amount, $10 million. That's a lot of money. That's not $26 million. And the $26 million the signing bonus from the NFL, that's just a signing bonus. That's just here's $26 million walking around money. That's in addition to his contract. That's just money he gets up front for signing the dotted line, the signing bonus. Then he gets his contract money on top of that. He's not going to make that up in NIL, and it's just a huge risk to take. But that is his right to do. No one has to go pro after 3 years. Of course, he's more than welcome to come back to college. Look, as somebody who doesn't care all that much about the NFL, I'm definitely a college football guy. I'm all for all college football players staying in college for 4 or 5 years. I mean, that would make me happy. But personally, for him, it seems like a terrible decision. I don't know what y'all think necessarily about a player basically saying, I'm not playing for this team or that team. Eli Manning pulled a stunt like this back in the day, a long time ago. I guess it looked like the Colts were going to draft him or whoever it was. No, the Chargers, was it? I forget. Some team had the number one pick or whatever pick they had, and they wanted to draft Eli Manning, and Eli Manning and his agent basically told that team, you can draft me if you want to, but I'm not going to play for you. And that's how Eli Manning ended up playing for the Giants. But so I don't know how y'all feel about that, like a player basically demanding which teams he does or doesn't want to play for right out of college. Now, once you get into the NFL and maybe your first contract comes up, then you've got some options, right? Based on how you've played. Certain other teams may want you more than your current team, whatever. I don't know how y'all feel about players demanding or when they come out of college, I will play for these teams, I will not play for those teams. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I don't particularly like that, but anyway, so that's what Caleb Williams, that report came out over the summer. But now this report that whatever team drafts him, he wants to be part owner of the team. Buddy, you haven't won one game. You haven't taken one snap. You haven't even participated in a single practice. And you want some NFL team to give you partial ownership? Now, first of all, this is just not going to happen. It's against league policy. It's against NFL rules and policy. There was a report about Aaron Rodgers. Y'all know he played for the Packers for a long time. This offseason, left the Packers, signed with the Jets. Well, reportedly, part of the negotiations between Aaron Rodgers and his agent and the New York Jets was they were negotiating for part ownership of the Jets as part of Aaron Rodgers' contract. The NFL stepped in and said, no, this is against league rules and policy. This is a violation. Apparently, the NFL does not allow player owners or owner players. You can't be both. It's one or the other. I don't know what y'all think about that rule in general, but even if, let's say even you support that rule, Isn't there a difference between somebody like Aaron Rodgers wanting that, a guy who's played at an elite level in the NFL for 10, 15 years, whatever it is, versus Caleb Williams, a guy who's never even stepped foot inside an NFL practice facility? This is unbelievable to me. The balls on this guy, Caleb Williams, to basically demand, okay, whatever team drafts me, not only do I want that $30 million signing bonus, not only do I want that number one draft pick 3-year salary guaranteed, I also want 10% ownership of the team. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this, that with a straight face, either Caleb Williams or his agent or both or one or the other would actually look at an NFL team, owner, coach, general manager, whatever, and say, yeah, I'll play for you. I want the $30 million signing bonus that the other number one pick got. I want the maximum 3-year contract. And oh yeah, I want to own 10% of the team in 2. The balls. What do y'all think about that? Look, I love Caleb Williams as a football player. You watch him play, and you don't have to be a draft expert or a recruiting expert or a talent evaluator or whatever to see the obvious talent, athleticism, and ability that Caleb Williams has when it comes to playing the quarterback position. Unbelievable. Lots of draft experts, when they talk about Caleb Williams, say that he is one of the most highly rated draft prospects at the quarterback position of all time. And I've got no reason to doubt him, okay? I've got no reason to think that Caleb Williams won't go on to have a very successful NFL career. But before we start talking about making an NFL player part owner of the team, can we see the guy complete some passes, win some games, maybe even lead his team to the playoffs? How about become a Pro Bowler? Become an all-pro? How about lead the league in passing for a year or two before you start making just these out-of-this-world demands about what a team has to do in order for you to play quarterback for them? This seems crazy to me. This just seems unbelievable. I know y'all hate soccer. Y'all know, is it Lionel Messi? Is that who it is? One of the best soccer players of all time. And he's still playing today. Just signed with a MLS team, an American professional soccer team, which is a big deal. We don't get a lot of the big name guys here in soccer. And he's with Inter Miami is the name of the soccer team he's on. Well, as part of his deal, now keep in mind, this guy has been the best soccer player on the planet for a decade. I mean, you're talking him and Ronaldo have run soccer for a decade or more, like whatever. It's like Michael Jordan in his prime. That's what Messi is, okay? In part of his negotiations with Inter Miami, he has been guaranteed some TV money. A lot of the MLS games are broadcast on Apple TV, I guess. And so in part of Messi's negotiations with Miami, he is being given a percentage of new Apple TV subscriptions that are a result of people signing up for Apple TV specifically to watch Inter Miami and Lionel Messi. Now, I think even that's a little strange. And Messi is the greatest soccer player in the world, or top 2 or 3. One of the top 5 of all time. He is in a better position to ask for something like that than Caleb Williams is to ask for partial ownership of an NFL team. Are we going to have NFL players now start demanding part of the TV money? TV money is how players get paid in the NFL. Look, yes, these owners make billions of dollars. Most of them are billionaires, but they make millions of dollars a year from owning an NFL team. A lot of the money they make, though, is through the TV deals. They then take that money and pay people like Caleb Williams $40, $50, $60 million a year to play quarterback. So to demand TV money, which is not what Caleb Williams is doing, but if we get to that point where NFL players are demanding TV money, you're getting paid twice from the same pool of money. Your paycheck is basically TV money, right? This is a big TV money is a big part of how owners make their money. Yes, they make money other ways, licensing, ticket sales, concession, all that stuff. I get it. But you know the numbers associated with these TV deals when it comes to both college and NFL football. This is how owners make a lot of their money. So they take $100 million or whatever they get from Fox and CBS or whoever's airing these NFL games, and they divvy it up, and they use that money to do what? To pay players. Now the player wants to cut out the middleman. Basically, what the player is telling you is they don't need the owner. Why do we need an owner? I don't know. Am I overreacting here with the Caleb Williams? Do you think there's any college football player good enough out of college to be demanding partial ownership of whatever NFL team drafts him? This is crazy to me. I like Caleb Williams. He's a hell of a football player. I love watching him play. And like I said, I have no reason to think he's not going to go on to have a successful NFL career. But this here seems potato to me.